these are incredibly challenging days for human beings with an open heart. We are glad you reached out to connect with us and asked us to help. We will do what we can to comfort, empower, and support you. The light within you is creating new potentials for you. It is transforming energy and structures within you and the changes that you are allowing. That you are nourishing with sleep and hydration and food and nature and willingness. These changes are part of the new future that will come about. This future will come. It is growing now simultaneously as these horrific things happen. Both. Today, many have layers of energy that they do not know exists. And most probably, they do not know that this energy travels with them and are about them. It exists in and around them, and they know it not. Does the energy you keep fill your being and world in a good way? Do you know what we speak of here? We speak on energy from other lifetimes that is also about you. It is about you in a twofold way. It is around and about you and is about you and what has come before. This is how you might understand this word we use so often, for it can be understood from multiple levels of understanding. And so, you have moved about this earth for a time or two, and that is a good thing, but also a thing where more can be, but not in a good way. In these other times, you have picked up energy that is tied to you and your soul. You have picked up what needs to be restored to a means of betterment. It must be restored so that more can be. Do you see? You've sensed this. You see the newness in the many other love-filled humans who, like you, are heartbroken about the famine in Gaza and the suffering of the Palestinian people. And who, like you, feel outraged that this is happening. That this is happening now, when the world, in fact, has so many resources, is truly heartbreaking to see. And human beings also have history experiences which that could inspire and bring about different decisions by leaders and those with the power to change this. And so far, that is not happening. Those in power are not making life-giving decisions. They are making selfish decisions in an attempt to hold on to the power they have. They, like you, feel this same growing new energy arising. They do not understand it the same way, but they feel it too. They have seen their own power bases eroding, and they are doing all they can to hold on to the power they have. There is great pain and harm being deliberately caused by those in power, in America, in Israel, in other countries too. Let us take a deep dive of understanding here to say that you have been layered with lesser energy when you did not enlist steps to move that lesser energy off and away. When something is not understood, and you have held a lower understanding and not moved to restore it to where it needed to be. That energy became bound to your soul and each subsequent embodiment. That is how this works. Have you known of this understanding before? Have you known about this compounding of energy? Have you known that you need not do some things that are of a lower and sometimes grossly lower way? When you do, and you then leave this life without restoring what need no longer be, then it remains in that lesser way and is brought back around to you in each lifetime until there is the raising up and restoration of what was once more than that. It is the restoration of wholeness that we describe. It is what you might seek to be. When there is not that, then the energy does accrue. It does accrue and build upon the other. Soon you will have more of this or that coupled with other lesser ambitions, and so it is quite a mix when you consider what has been underfoot once upon a time when it was not that here. So we acknowledge all of this and we understand your outrage. We even join you in the sense that we know if we were human and we witnessed what you are witnessing, we too would be outraged and heartbroken, and our tears, like yours, would fall, and like you would do what we could to try and make a difference. Despite anyone who tells you that the non-physical would be neutral and see only love, no matter what we are looking at. To say this in a situation like this is kind of missing the practical point. Yet, we do live in the knowing that all beings arise from eternal, infinite divine consciousness. And we do love all of you. And all human beings are emanating into their embodiment from an inviolable eternal soul. Nonetheless, suffering is very real to anyone who is embodied, as is pain, and our hearts go out to anyone who is suffering or experiencing pain. We can also see clearly when any of you have lost your way, your connection to love in your heart and to your eternal wholeness. We recognize when or if you lose the feeling of your innate connection with all life and the oneness that underlies all. We do know who you truly are, and we can see when you lose sight of this. These things were not taught, and perhaps even those things confessed by another did not benefit as it might or should, for there was not the surrender, oftentimes, of what had come before. There was not the dissipation of what has existed before. There was perhaps a wanting, but was it bound by duty? Was it bound by something other than what it is? If there is not the heart-centered request made in a loving way. If there was not that, then how can a restoration be in your future when you confess this or that without what was needed? How could it be when that necessary component was not inserted or felt? You see, it is taking responsibility for your actions. It is recognizing that different choices would produce a different outcome and a different energy resulting. One can never absolve the sin as it is and can only be done individually, and not because or through another. Do you see the control and the wanton lack of accountability that has existed in this way? You see, this was the removal of self-accountability, and self-accountability must always be. There is no other way. Begin to move beyond as you unlayer lesser energy. Restore a degree of wholeness as you move these unwanted energy grids off and away. See more clearly what exists today in this way. Move more in sequence and all that is to be in this way. So cry then, help spread the word, talk with your friends, be with others, do what you can, make phone calls, protest. Speak up, keep your heart open and witness and hold those who are dying in your heart. Send them love and light and grace. Pray for their families. Know too that we are with them all who are suffering, doing all we can to provide comfort, to provide grace, to fill their hearts with love. But it is very hard for anyone to receive these kinds of love-filled energies when one is in excruciating pain. And make no mistake, starving to death is excruciatingly painful. What will come of this? How will you and others be changed because of this? What will you do differently because of this? How will these experiences inform your life, your living, today, tomorrow, and as your life continues? For your life will continue. What will you do with the feelings you've had and the outrage you've felt? How will you use it? How might you take that and feel it as energy and allow it to become creativity and strength and power and action and love? How might you allow it to soften you and help you be even more open, more gentle and more caring towards everyone and everything? These are some of the ways you might honor those who you cannot save. Ask your divine self to inspire you to more. Listen and take time to open to the possibilities of how this might shape you your way, showing your loving, your light work, your presence, your being,